If you could go back in time, would you do anything differently? I've been producing music for around 15 years, 10 of those professionally, and there have been times where I've made mistakes that have definitely held me back. So, in this video, I'm gonna show you 3 mistakes that I would go back and fix if I could have a do-over. And hopefully, you can learn from them so you don't make those same mistakes. But before we get started, every YouTube video needs some background music, and I found this old tape player, and I thought it might be fun to try and use that. So, let's give it a try. Whoa, what was that? Where am I? Is this the mall that I grew up going to? Oh well, I gotta get this video out by Monday, so I'll just keep reading the script. On to mistake number 1. Bruce Lee once said, "I fear not the man who has practiced 10,000 kicks once, but I fear the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times." And while music production isn't a martial art, there are some great parallels between that and music production mistake that I've made. As a beginner, you'll be tempted to switch it up all the time. There's a big world of plugins, synths, recording techniques, and even genres to explore, and it's exciting to try it all out at the very start. However, it's important to take the time to master techniques before moving on to the next one and totally changing everything. Imagine it like you're a runner. If every time you went for a run, you changed to a different style of shoes or different socks, you went from the track to the treadmill to a wilderness trail, and you were doing distance running and then sprints, yeah, you might be running a lot, but you're gonna have a hard time figuring out what gear you wanna use and what kind of race you're training for. The same is true of producing music. If for every song you're switching out your gear, you're trying a whole new suite of plugins, you're changing up everything all the time, you're gonna have a hard time building habits and really mastering any specific genre or technique. That's not to say that you shouldn't experiment and switch things up, but the same way that runners will train for the same distance race for months at a time, producers should practice techniques and styles until they really master them. So that's why mistake number 1 is changing everything each time you start a new production. To put it simply, I fear not the producer who has 10,000 synths, but the producer who's used one synth on 10,000 songs. Well, it looks like this side of the tape ended, so I'm gonna go ahead and flip it over and we'll get on to point 2. Okay, this is weird. I think this tape machine is sending me to different dimensions. That can't be right. I know I didn't get enough sleep, but focus, Adam, stick to the script. Okay, mistake number 2, come on. Tell me if this has ever happened to you. There's a singer or a rapper that your friend shows you their single. You check it out and you're not super impressed. And then over time, you see their name, you see them pop up more and more, but you just don't check out the music because the first time you heard them, you didn't love it. Fast forward a whole year, and you hear a song on your Discover Weekly that you totally love. And you look and you see, it's that artist that your friend showed you. You might notice that they've dropped a ton of awesome music over the past year that you totally dig. However, because you didn't love that first song that you heard from them, you totally wrote them off and just didn't check them out every time they drop music. In the same way, your first impression as a music producer can be hard to shake off. When you first get started, your productions will probably sound decent to good, but not great. It's totally okay to post those songs, to show your friends, and to take people along on your production journey. But on the flip side, I would caution against selling your production services as a finished product until you're at a more professional level. If you put too much time into picking a business name, building a website, getting business cards made, trying to build an audience, all of that stuff, before you've really built up your production chops, that may come back to bite you in the end, which is something that happened to me. It took a lot of years of solid production work to undo the so-so first impression that I made with a lot of artists that I wanted to work with. And that's why mistake number 2 is posting your amateur sounding productions everywhere. Okay, I really need to get back home, so let's try this tape machine again. Maybe... Okay, this can't be right. Am I in the quantum realm? Is that Ant-Man? Anyway, on to mistake number 3. When a house is being built, There's not one person that pours the foundation, lays the tile, installs the lighting, puts the roof on the house. It is a whole team of people and even different companies that work on building that house. All of those people have different tools and different skill sets. And in the same way, when you're working on music, it is amazing to work with people who have different tools than you and different skill sets than you. But when I was first starting out, I was writing my own songs, I was producing them, mixing, mastering, doing it all myself. And predictably, it did not sound great. When I started taking music more seriously, I started working with mix engineers, with mastering engineers. I was doing co-writes with other songwriters and co-productions with other producers, and that had two great effects on my music. First, the end product did sound better. But second, I also gained a whole new perspective on what my music could sound like. Since then, I've learned even more about what I'm good at, what I need to improve on, and what I don't even want to do, so I can leave that to the experts in that field. So that's why mistake number 3 is trying to learn production, mixing, and mastering all at once. Okay, so that was mistake number 3, but I really need this thing to take me home, so please work. Whoa, well, that was wild. But I'm back here in my imperfect dimension where I've made some mistakes. But you know what? That's okay, because I can help you guys avoid those same mistakes that I made. And if you want to learn even more mistakes that you should avoid as a producer, then check out this video over here.